is 972-235-5555. To get in touch with Pallavi and her entire team beyond the show, you do need to take an appointment, and you can call their front desk manager at 972-361-0606. aluwalialaw.com is the website to go to, or most conveniently you can log on to yourdclawyer.com as well. With that, do want to welcome Pallavi on the airwaves of One Asia Radio 104.9 FM. Good morning to you, Pallavi.
A very good morning to you, Meetu. Glad to be here this Wednesday morning with you. Happy Gurpurab to everybody who was celebrating the holiday, and also a very, very happy Thanksgiving break coming out to all, and Thanksgiving Day, and hopefully you'll enjoy yourselves with your family and have a lot of thanks to give around for all the good things that we all keep receiving, and we don't know where those bounties come from for us, but aren't we ever thankful? Meetu, just want to start taking all our callers, and of course we want to thank our callers too, because they participate on this show with us, and their interactiveness is what causes the show to be not only heard, but also their questions give answers to a lot of other people that perhaps don't have the courage to call and ask the same question. So I think we have to thank them as part of this Thanksgiving. So we'll start taking the calls now.
And in conjunction with your thought, would like to add here, we do want to thank on the behalf of the entire community for coming down to this studio every Wednesday and do this show for our community.
Of course. My pleasure, and I enjoy it thoroughly, as hopefully you can tell.
Yes, we can. Let's go to our first caller. To request you to turn off your radio before you ask your question. 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. Yes, go ahead and ask your question. You're live on the air.
Yeah, hi. This is Samir here. My query is, I'm with the company on an L1A blanket visa, and my visa was valid till July 2014, and I-94 was issued for 3 years. My company says the L1A extension cannot be done as long as I-94 is valid. So wanted to check, is there such USCIS law that prohibits the extension to be done while I-94 is valid?
Correct. Because see, the I-94 dictates your status in the country on a particular status. So the time that you enter the country, and CBP gave you, say for example, 3 years, then that is the status that you have on the particular visa that you entered. And it's okay if that visa expired. That doesn't mean that your status has expired, as long as the I-94 is still valid. Now let's do the reverse of that. Say for example, you had a longer visa but a shorter I-94. Then you would still need to extend your L1, because the I-94, again, like I had said, would dictate the length of your stay. So, and because of that, then you would have had to extend your status, even if you had a valid visa but a shorter I-94. But in this particular situation, you're completely okay.
Okay. Only thing is, with this, I'm not able to, take up any overseas travel such as Caribbean, where I have my other accounts, because I do not have a visa. So is there any workaround which allows me to travel? Because once I leave the country, I cannot enter because I do not have a visa.
Okay, so was there an original 797 related to the blanket, perhaps?
Yeah, there was a 797.
Okay, related to that blanket. Okay, and then you had this I-94 that was done for you. So based on that blanket, you can still go for stamping as long as it's still valid, and it lets you go up until the 3-year mark that the CBP has given you.
Which means I can travel, say, to Jamaica, and then I can return to US without stamping?
No. That means that if that blanket is still open and valid, and the 797 and that still shows a longer validity, then you can use that for your L1A stamping like you did the first time around.
Okay. So only way is I have to go to India, get the stamping then, and then only I can take up the other travels.
What I would try and do is see if Jamaica would take you in, and see if Jamaica can also stamp you. So if your first time stamping is always the home country, and for the second time consulates around you can take you on a discretionary basis.
Okay, so this would be a second stamping. So probably Jamaica could be okay, possible, and I'll check with our legal counselors, right?
Correct.
That's what you meant.
Yes. And I would just make sure that there is a valid approval notice that covers you for the length of the stamping that you're looking for, even if it is under the blanket.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All the best.
All right. Thank you so much for your call. Going to our next caller, 972-235-5555 is the number in the studio to get in touch with Pallavi right now. Beyond the show, you do need to take an appointment. Call them at 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Panisha Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hello. How are you all doing?
Very well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Actually, this question is regarding my husband. He's on F1 visa, student visa, and I'm dependent.
Okay.
He has been working on CPT for less than a year, and now he has applied for his OPT on October 15th
Okay.
with the same employer.
Okay.
So his CPT is ending on December 10th, but he didn't get his EAD card now. So we want to ask, should he inform the employer, or should he continue to work until he gets his EAD after December 10th?
No.
Or should he start looking for admissions in other colleges also if the EAD gets denied?
Okay, so here is the thing. For him to be getting the OPT, he should have graduated, right?
Yeah,
he
he's
should have finished
graduating on December 10th.
Okay. And then the school recommends the OPT, and based on that, once that OPT is applied for and the EAD is pending, he cannot work. The pending EAD does not allow anyone to work. He'll have to go off the payroll, and he'll have to come back on when the EAD gets approved. Upon its approval, he can start working. Now, if for any reason it were to get denied, would be rare reasons unless there's been something that has been a big violation. But if there was to be a denial and he wants to go back to school, then he would probably have to step out of the country, re-enter with a new I-20, and if he has a F1 valid visa on his passport, that's how he'd come back and resume classes plus the CPT.
Okay, so he cannot take admission by staying in here in America. He has to go out and
If
then
there is
again
a
get
denial,
another I-20.
yeah, if there is a denial that precedes going to the second school. So seamlessly, say for example, his December 10th is his graduation, and that's great news, so congratulations on that. But after that, if he were to apply for another course of study, and that would be the spring semester, and he gets that admission and he's not applying for the OPT, that's a different matter. But if he were to apply for OPT and he were to be rejected for any reason, then at that point he would not have status, and then he would have to just fix that by leaving the country with his new I-20 and then re-entering.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Going to our next caller, Financial Radio. You're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Pallavi. This is Ajay Pathak.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm fine. In fact, I had applied for L1 and then it went into appeal and it got rejected and so on and so forth.
Okay.
But then I applied for EB1 and the website says that till 3rd February, they have up to 15th February, they have open the file. And mine is on 3rd February.
Okay.
I had applied.
Okay.
I have not been seeing any status, so is there a chance of delay or denial or what? I don't know.
No, I mean, so those dates that they give you are approximate dates, and maybe they are currently processing your file. That doesn't mean that they've adjudicated them. They just may be still looking at them. So I wouldn't get that worried, because you're just about 10-12 days away from the date that they are putting on their site. So you applied for EB1C?
EB1, the international manager.
EB1C. That's EB1C. All right. Sounds good.
So, and second thing I'm saying is that does it require any investments or anything for EB1?
No. EB1C is exactly what the L1A is. It's just on a higher level than an L1A.
Okay. And
So
that is for how much period?
I'm sorry?
That is for how many years a year?
No. So the EB1 is a green card petition that you have applied for. Okay, the EB1 is a green card I-140 under the multinational manager. And it is a tough category, so I'll say that it's more accelerated in terms of the review that it receives from USCIS than the L1A. And what's at issue mostly is the nature of the duties that have been pointed out, and whether third-party evidence has been enclosed in your application that shows that. And a lot of tough cases, a lot of good employers or, multinationals also are getting tough decisions from the government, and it's a matter of how you are arguing it and what kind of proof you're attaching.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you so much. Moving on to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question. All right. Looks like we cannot hear you well. Moving on, do call us back, 972-235-5555. That's the number in the studio. To get in touch with Pallavi, you do need to call our front desk manager at 972-361-0606. Going to our next caller, Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
That's our, that's the caller that I think we can't ever hear.
Okay. Phanisha Radio, you're live on the air. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I have a question for my friend. He's moving from Canada to here on L1B, and he is also traveling with his family. So currently his wife will be on L2, right? And she is working on some company in Canada now, and they also have a branch in Dallas now.
Okay.
So what she is asking now, whether if she can apply the EAD before she can arrive to USA.
No.
They got the L1B stamping and everything, but the exit date will be somewhere in later 15 days.
Right. Yeah, no, you have to be in the country in that status to apply for that EAD. Plus you need the I-94 information that will only arise once she enters the country. So
Okay.
you cannot apply from abroad.
Okay. And can she, there is another option also what they are looking for, if she can work here on Canada payroll.
So as you know, if she's going to do any work, and if she's remotely working for a company abroad, and that is a clear relationship that's been set up, I don't think there would be any, she's not showing up to work anywhere, she's not showing up to the local company here, I think she should still be okay if she's doing some remote work for the company abroad. Okay, but I would say that once the intention is for her to come and work here, then it may just be more befitting for her to wait for that EAD to come through and then work for the company here if that's the intention.
Okay, there is something like priority, as in if company gets the letter that we need this girl immediately
EAD,
to.
yeah, EAD as a matter of law or a matter of the statute has to be adjudicated within 90 days. That is the government's promise, unless there is some missing documentation or there is an RFE that gets generated. So there is no other expedite option besides that.
Okay, I understand. Thank you very much for your answer.
All the best to you.
Thank
And
you
your
so
friend.
much for your call, and all the very best to you. Moving on to our next caller, we have very little time left. We do want you to ask your question quickly.
Yes, I have a two-part question actually.
You have to go really fast on that. We have very limited time.
Okay. Here's the deal. I was born in India and I had an Indian citizenship, but my parents are from Afghanistan, and so now with on my citizenship it says Afghan national, former Afghan national. Now,
Okay.
can I somehow get my citizenship, Indian citizenship here? Because I don't think I can travel with that passport to India because being an Afghan national. Help me out,
Okay,
please.
yeah, I don't understand. Currently, what's your status? What nationality are you?
Well, it's Afghan and U.S. citizen Afghan, yeah.
So-
On the citizenship it says Afghan national.
Okay, just let's do this again. Is it a U.S. citizen or not?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're a U.S. citizen, then that's your nationality. You cannot be a
Okay.
national of another country because U.S. does not recognize. We have some understandings with a few countries for dual citizenship, but
Okay.
it's not that with Afghanistan. And
Uh-huh.
even with India, you would get an overseas citizen of India status or card that would let you go into India. Now, where does it say that you are an Afghan national?
It says in the bottom left corner of the citizenship certificate that I got.
Okay. And so tell me the problem that we're having, because now you have a U.S. passport though, correct?
Well, I haven't applied for the passport yet, but I used to travel with travel document before. But I recently got this.
Yes.
And,
so the passport that you get, yeah, the passport that you...
I was going to say, that particular thing is going to go on the passport also, right?
No, it's going to be where... No, it's going to be where you're born, right? And that's, yeah, it's where you're born. And does your N400 application state that you were born in India?
Yes.
Does the place of birth, was that indicated as India? So then that's what should flow through.
I see.
So you may have acquired nationality of Afghanistan just because you had parents that were from Afghanistan.
Right.
And that may be just the automatic nationality. But if you were born in India, and it now depends on the interpretation of whether you were an Indian citizen or not, and that would just go to the relationship between Afghanistan and India. Okay, and that's something that we perhaps cannot give an opinion about, because we do not understand that treaty that they have between the two of them.
Right, but I can still get Indian citizenship also right now, dual citizenship?
Well, you can definitely, after your passport, apply with to India, and that's when you would find out what that treaty is. So you would talk to the Indian consulate or to the people that adjudicate that. I believe we are out of time.
Yeah, we are sort of running out of time, and thank you for your question. And to get in touch with Pallavi beyond the show, do want you all to know that the number to call is 972-361-0606. Ahluwalialaw.com is the website to go and find out more. And with that, Pallavi, do want to end the legal segment here, and wishing you and your family and your friends, everybody, a very happy Thanksgiving.
A very, very happy Thanksgiving to you, and I have to thank you for doing this so well every week without fail and so pleasantly. Thank you so much, Meetu, and I think this is a big Thanksgiving celebration for us when we recognize the people that actually impact what we do on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Attorney Pallavi Ahluwalia of Ahluwalia Law Offices. Call in with your questions at 972